Yo, what is going on, you long-eared Lillipup? Today we're playing some games with Stephane Ivanoff's Dragapult Malamar list that he used to win the PokéX Invitational over the weekend. So yeah, with him winning it, I did want to, try it out, see how it feels. It is a pretty standard Dragapult Malamar list. Most people are playing the 1-1 or 2-2 Malamars, going for the 1-1, and the reason to play the 1-1 Malamars is because you get to really abuse those super scoop ups. That's like the power. This card is super powerful with Dragapult, but when you don't have any energy accelerant in the deck, it's hard to utilize them and keep using Max Phantom every turn, but the Malamar helps you do that. So that's the reason to combine the super scoop ups with the Malamar. Definitely opting on more on the side of consistency here. Stephane went with 4 Jirachi, 4/4 Dragapult. No tech attackers really. I guess it is possible to attack with that shadow impact of Giratina. Not super likely to happen, but it is definitely possible. Only real tech card here is the Scoop Up Mime, which is just kind of pretty strong in the format in general. A lot of the decks play the Jirachi Scoop Up Net engine. This deck combozation. Baby Blounce, so being able to stop them from being able to use their scoop up nets is always a powerful thing to be able to do. So Scoop Up Mime is in here, opting for the Viridian Forest as his stadium of choice. There's no energy spinner, but the Viridian Forest kind of acts as a counter stadium as well as energy spinner in the same card, so it allows you to find some more room in the deck to fit the super scoop up, to fit the Malamar line in here. Normally people are playing like 2 energy spinner and power plants or shrines, and that's 4 cards, but Viridian Forest is a counter stadium and a way to find energy in 1 card, so it's a little bit more efficient, but you kind of lose the power of those other stadium cards, the power plant, the shrine. And then yeah, 3 bosses orders, 4 research, 2 Marnie, 2 Cynthia, and 2 reset stamp. 2 Marnie, 2 Cynthia split is it's sometimes nice to shuffle your hand into your deck without shuffling your opponent's hand. Sometimes they have like 1 or 2 cards in hand and you're like, I don't want to research my hand away, but I don't want to Marnie my opponent. And sometimes you have to use the research because it's too much card advantage to give to your opponent if you Marnie. But if you do play the Cynthia, sometimes you just have the Cynthia instead. It can just go with that Cynthia. Reshuffle your hand into the deck. Don't have to worry about giving your opponent plus cards on their turn. And that's it. Like I said, pretty straightforward list. But with him taking down the Invitational, I definitely want to give it a try and show it to you guys. So let's go ahead, let's get into some games with Stephane's Dragapult Malamar build. All right, into our first one. We are going first here in this first one, which is what we want. We want to get a, whoa, looks like we do not have anything that we want. Going to open up the Mr. Mime. Not great in every matchup, so I'd rather lose the Mr. Mime compared to the Zigzagoon, which is pretty much good in every single matchup. Currently, we are only missing a Pult from having a turn 1 attachment, to having our turn 1 ideal start. Looks like we're up against a mirror match probably with our opponent's Giratina start. We are weak to Psychic, so it's possible our Mr. Mime gets taken out here on turn 1. So I want to put the Zigzagoon down. I'm not going to net the Mime, and we're going to pass. Unfortunately, no Quick Ball, no Treasure, no Dragapult, no Jirachi to find one of those. A lot of outs turn 1. Didn't work out. One big thing in the mirror match for us is we do not play the Giratina, actually, that our opponent plays here. I guess also us pinging this means they can't pick it up with the our Scoop Up Line stops them from picking this up, which is a big deal, I guess. So definitely worth pinging this, dropping this in play. That way they can't get rid of our horror energy here, and we can chill, hopefully. We don't want to lose this, though. We really don't want to lose this to our opponent with that. They could go Bite plus Zigzagoon plus Ping It. That would kind of stink, but if they don't get that, then we're still just chilling. Yeah, a lot of outs to a turn 1 Dragapult. Did not hit it. It's fine. I'm okay with being behind 1 energy attachment, especially if our opponent has to put Dedenne in play to play the game, or to keep playing the game, because that's easy prizes later on. For sure. Definitely something you want to try and avoid putting in the mirror match, but it looks like they didn't have a draw supporter, so I don't blame them for that. Putting this guy in play right here. They got to see some cards, man. You got to play the game. Got to see cards to play the game. So sometimes you got to Dedenne change. It's not ideal in the mirror match, but better to get to play the game than not. Another Scoop Up Net leaving the hand. So 2 nets gone. They're not useless in the matchup, even if you can't Scoop Up Net your dudes, but yeah, our opponent is getting pretty aggressive with getting rid of them there. All right. Our turn, all we want is an energy and Dragapult. We have the Viridian Forest, so I can put this in play before I Cynthia or Marnie. I'll probably Cynthia here. Our opponent only has a 4-card hand. Save it for later when it could have more value. I definitely want to protect my Mr. Mime at this point, so I am going to Scoop Up Net the Mime, send up the Zigzagoon, and bench the Mime back down. Viridian Forest into play, so that means after I Cynthia, I will be able to Viridian Forest, hopefully find a way to get a Dragapult. There he is. Attached to it. I don't have the Viridian Forest this turn, though, if I don't want to, and I don't really feel like I need to. Just wanted the option of it. And I'm going to pass over to my opponent. Should I Viridian Forest? I could Viridian Forest away this boss just to have the energy for next turn. And then, because they could replace my stadium, and then I can treasure away the top deck. Or Super Scoop's Land treasure that away. This feels a little bit better. It feels worth it to get the value out of the Viridian Forest right here, right now. I definitely want to try and... Oh, they're playing Crushing Hammers. Here we go. So they have a lot of stuff for the mirror match. They got the Giratina, they got the Crushing Hammers. This is going to be a tough one. It's going to be a really tough one, not going to lie. Yeah, if the Crushing Hammers get involved and they're getting heads, it gets tough for us. We don't have anything great to send up here. So I think we just have to send up the... I really don't want to lose Mr. Mime. But I think it's better to lose Mr. Mime than let our Dragapult take a full max Phantom hit. Just give it to Mr. Mime if they even get the knockout here. They can knock it out with Shred. I believe it doesn't prevent weakness. Yeah, so Shred will knock out my Mr. Mime. That's fine. They'll get to reuse this, but we're going to try and be using basic energy anyway, so it really shouldn't be that big of a deal. We can Shred our opponent, or I might just attach to the bench and set up Zigzagoon for a turn. I'm actually not even sure which way I should go about this. Because we are in such a... I think I'm going to go send up Zigzagoon, try and build up into a max Phantom. Just kind of take my time. We do know they play Fion, which is a little scary, but I'm just going to kind of have to hope they don't get it, man. All right, Dragapult. And then Research. Football away a Giratina. I don't think I'll ever be able to get the Inkay involved. It's hard to get the Inkay involved in the mirror match. We can thin out our deck quite a bit here, actually. Quick ball away that. Get a Jirachi. Ball away Jirachi. Grab ourselves the Dragapult finally. Bench that. And I think we have to pass. Yeah, pass. Alright, so once again, they've got the Crushing Hammers. Giratina they can now pick up, so our Horror Energy are not safe to put in play anymore. Unless they start running out of Scoop Up Nets. They only have 2 nets left, so I could get... I feel like I have to, if the damage from the Horror Energy is going to make the difference on whether or not I can just win or lose the game based on them just simply max Phantoming first, then I might have to put the Horror Energy in play here. Definitely don't want to put down any more 1-prizers, because that makes it a lot easier for my opponent to win the game, because they can just go KO 1 Dragapult VMAX and then KO a third 1-prize Pokemon, which we don't want to happen. They do have the Dedenne in play, though, which is really good for us. The Dedenne in play is really good for us, so... I'm trying to abuse that. Probably going to go with the basic energy here. I just don't want to lose this to Scoop Up Net on the Giratina. It's just not worth it. Send this guy up. Basic energy. We do have this boss now, which I think I want to utilize. Actually, I could have put the Horror Energy here. So what I should have done is actually put the Horror Energy here and then boss to knock out the Giratina. Because they usually play don't play Recovery. Still going to do this. But... should have done it a little bit differently, for sure. I should have put the Horror Energy on my active then if I'm going to do it like this. So mistake on my part. Hopefully it doesn't cost me the whole game. Gonna find out. Let's go ahead and hit this thing for 5, I think. I think I'm just gonna throw it all there. 5. Yeah, should have put the Horror Energy down. Yeah, Dragapult decks just don't play Recovery. They don't play ways to recover their Pokemon or energy usually. Oh, almost never will you find an ordinary route. So I should have put the Horror Energy here. Learn from my mistake, guys. When you knock out the Giratina or once in the discard pile, utilize your Horror Energy because there's no reason not to. They would have taken 20 damage more hitting into my Dragapult on the next turn. Then I could have hit it. You know, put 5 on the Dedenne. These are where our 5 prize cards are probably going to come from, unless our opponent puts more 1-prize Pokemon in play, which they might. Then we can look to knock out this plus 2 1-prizers. It really depends on what our opponent does. But yeah, the Dedenne is going to be our main focus for right now. The Dedenne and this Dragapult VMAX. Setting up their second VMAX here. Possible we're going to have to go through 2 VMAXs. We're going to have to wait and see how the game actually plays out. Comes a Max Phantom. 130. And if we hit into this Horror Energy, we are going to get knocked out on the next turn. So we got to attach to the bench dude here and then play the Research. If we do get a Super Scoop Up, we will scoop this up and Shred. So let's try that. Hey, it is a heads. Heal all that damage. Evolve. And now I'm not going to bench a V here. I will do this, though, to thin out of the deck if we get stamped or something. And I am going to just go ahead and Shred here. Once again, should have played this a little bit differently. It's fine. We're still kicking. Everything's fine. They can't knock us out here. And then next turn, I will maybe bench a drag. I don't know if I'll bench Dragapult V. We could attach active Max Phantom the Dedenne. I kind of like that play. They did just put a Mr. Mime in play. Depending on what we top deck. If we top deck a net, we could actually go KO Mr. Mime, KO the Jirachi, and then go down to 3 prize cards left. They put a lot of 1 prizes in play now. We have a lot of different ways we can theoretically win this game now. They're gonna hit us for 130. I could go shred something off the bench. Here comes the Max Phantom. I can Max Phantom their active. We'll see. Attach. Now we bench both. Max Phantom. And I think it's just going to all go to the Dedenne, to be honest. This guy's very close to getting knocked out. Yeah, just put it all in the Dedenne right now. I think that's still going to be our 5 prize. If I put it anywhere here, I mean, how many nets did they have left? What, 1 net left? Guess I could have made it awkward on some of their bench Pokemon. Next turn, we can bring this up and shred knock it out if we wanted to. Or even instead, I could shred knock or bring up the Dedenne and shred the Dedenne. And we have a lot of nets left, so I could just bring up Dedenne, shred Dedenne, and then knock this out off the bench with a Max Phantom if I can get some more spread damage through my Giratina with the Distortion Door. So I might go about it that way instead. And it might be awkward for them to move the Dedenne because they are running out of energy. It's what, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Any more discarded here? No. So 7 energy gone. Once again, could go after some 1 prize. I think I'm a little bit past going after 1 prizers. This is my last boss, so I have to be careful of that. But shredding that, this will leave this with 5 HP left. This guy has 6 HP left. Shredding this basically does nothing, and that's why I don't really want to shred this for the most part. But I could wait for a Max Phantom. I guess I could wait for a Max Phantom, actually. So we could just shred the active then. So we'll set up this one. Evolve. Evolve. Attach. Active. Shred. And then next turn we can go bring up the Dedenne, Max Phantom, knock out the Dedenne, knock out this guy with the Distortion Door. That should be game. No, no, the Crushing Hammers. Can't forget those. Let's see how many they have left. They have 2 left. Not very many cards in the deck left. There's the heads. All right. Gonna get close once again. I thought we had him. I was like, all right, this is looking really good. Once again, looking close. It's looking close. Forgot about the Crushing Hammers. Very good in the mirror match. Very, very, very good. When we're both attaching 1 energy a turn, because I can't really, like, I could maybe have benched Inkay more. I wasn't even able to, actually. If I had gone first like I did, I would definitely have, like, tried to bench Inkay aggressively. But I wasn't able to because of the situation where I just didn't have any draw cards. Oh my gosh, they replaced my Viridian Forest as well. I did save that basic energy in hand, or I had one last basic energy in hand. Now it's on the bottom of my deck that I could have Viridian Forest. They got the Chaotic Swell. Gonna get rid of this Escape Board, thin out this. Shuffle the deck because I had so much good stuff on the bottom of my deck. Kind of relying on this getting heads anyway, so I'm fine with that. We could stamp them to 1, take away as many options as possible from them right now. Could have waited a turn on the stamp as well, I feel like. Bench and pass. Yep, that's a pretty good combo there. Taking away all the good cards out of my hand. Replacing my Viridian Forest and getting a Crushing Hammer heads will maybe end me here. Gonna try and scoop this guy up. And heal him. Let's see, maybe a good top deck as well. There's the Marnie. Scoop up. Alright, alright. Oh, they have the Scoop Up Block Mime, of course. All right, so I needed to do something different, man. I need to Escape Board retreat this action instead. I'm not going to lie, I completely forgot about the Mime. That's it. I'll have the Max Phantom knock on my active next turn. All right, so I should have got rid of the Scoop Up, saved the Escape Board to retreat this guy. Completely forgot about the Scoop Up Block Mime, and that's going to do me in the end. Maybe had a chance. I could have shredded the active. We have the boss in hand, so if we have Marnie them into a rough hand, and then top decked a Horror Energy, we still could have made the play. We were trying to make the play the whole time, but that's going to be a rough one, man. They got the Scoop Up Block Mime, the Crushing Hammers, the Giratina that removes our energy, all that stuff for us to play on the mirror match, and we don't really have anything for the mirror match besides our Super Scoop Ups, which can be dealt with the Scoop Up Block Mime. it's going to be tough in the mirror match for sure. Let's see if we can hit something a little bit different on the next one. All right, we are getting into another one here. Going second, got the Jirachi start, and we got a quick ball. Oh, actually, we're going first. We got the quick ball for the V, as well as Jirachi start with some energy, so it's looking pretty good. Start with quick ball. I'm gonna get rid of the psychic energy. We got the Malamar as well. There's the Inkay in the deck, so I definitely want to try and set that up. Turn 2 if possible. Escape Board. Just gonna retreat to the other Jirachi right now, I think. This. Could have taken the quick ball for the Malamar actually instead. I probably should have taken the quick ball for the Malamar. I saw the Escape Board and I got kind of excited, so I was like, oh, I want that. All right, let's take this. Dragapult V energy pass. Yeah, I probably should have taken the quick ball instead. I don't know. I got really excited when I saw the Escape Board. I was like, oh, I can get that on my Jirachi right now. But I probably should have gone with the quick ball to get the Inkay there, get the Inkay in play, and then we can get the Malamar out really aggressively, which is really nice in this matchup against Pikarom, because we are trying to use those super scoop ups and then reset up into a Dragapult on the following turns. So they hit us with full blitz or something, whatever they hit us with, we can scoop up our Dragapult, attach psychic recharge, evolve it, the Dragapult V into a VMAX, and just kind of do that loop once, maybe twice is all we need to really win games. So ideally what we want to set up. So I probably should have grabbed that quick ball. Probably could have quick balled away the scoop up net actually. Keep the super scoop up around. Bench and Inkay, just have 2 Jirachis in play. Neither with a skateboard or anything, but that's fine. And then probably find a pretty easily be able to find a quick ball or a draw supporter next turn on a Stellar Wish, and then go from there. We'll see how it goes here. We're not in a terrible spot or anything by any means. There's a Marnie from our opponent off their Stellar Wish. Wouldn't mind seeing some different cards. This is not an energy or a Dragapult V in the current hand, so that is what we're looking for. Is turn 2 VMAX if possible. Looks like, oh, they Vulcanered already. I was like, why would they not? But they already Vulcanered, so it makes sense. All right, I'm going to Stellar Wish, grab a treasure, net this, send up that, treasure away this. Gonna grab that VMAX. We could also grab Tina, treasure away Tina. I'll grab the VMAX. I would, yeah, I think I'd rather have the treasure in the deck, to be honest. And then go ahead and play the Marnie. See what we drew. Got the energy, which is the big thing we were looking for this turn. Stellar Wish. Stamping a boss. Gonna take the boss. Definitely gives us more options than the stamp. Bench Jirachi. Attach. Treat. And Max Phantom. Knock out the Jirachi. 5 on their Cocoa Prism. Yeah, they had a really rough start off the bat. They played that kind of weirdly though. Yeah, the way they had a Vulcaner, but then they didn't get a Pikarom or anything. I guess they're trying to Stellar Wish into like a tag call or another quick ball to get the Pikarom to attach to, but obviously didn't work out. There comes down the Thunder Mountain. But I'm feeling pretty good here. Did not get that Inkay down like I wanted, or another Dragapult V. Just didn't see a lot of Pokemon on that last turn in general. It's fine though. I'm not too worried about it, like I've been saying. We're chilling. One thing we have to be careful of is actually the paralysis from the Raichu and Raichu. Here's a switch into the Cocoa V. They'll be able to pop the Cocoa Prism. All right, they got the full blitz here. So it looks like, as of right now, it looks like our 5 prize cards are probably going to come from the Pikarom and the Cocoa V, but a lot of other attackers and stuff they can put in play. So depending on what they put in play this turn, we might put our Max Phantom damage differently, but if it's only these two, obviously we're going to have to go Max Phantom, hit the active, set up some damage on the Cocoa V. And we'll probably go with the current hand. We're looking at the Escape Board active, retreat, Stellar Wish, and then Scoop Up Net this Jirachi, and then back into the Cocoa V, or into the VMAX. And we're trying to set up another VMAX. I'm definitely trying to set up that Malamar, like I've been talking about, that we haven't been able to set up quite yet. Trying to set up both those. There's that Raichu that I'm kind of terrified of. But we have 4 Super Scoop Ups left, so I'm not too worried about it yet. I guess I should say. I'm not too worried about it yet. And we might actually just focus all of our damage on that Raichu, because that thing is probably where all their energy is going, and it's going to be the thing that we're going to have to deal with. There's the 4 damage they take from the Horror Energy. All right. Reset Stamp. Definitely not something we want right now, nor do we probably want to top deck that. So let's go with the Stellar Wish. Found a quick ball. Want to save the treasures for later. Quick ball. Dragapult V is definitely more important to make sure we get. So I am going to grab that, even though we do want to get this and a Malamar stuff. If we need to make sure we get this Dragapult V with an energy this turn, so gonna go with that. And then research Oof, almost with the energy. We're good though. Put Viridian Forest away the research, get an energy. And Max Phantom. And probably just go ahead and throw all the damage on the Raichu. I don't think the Coco V is ever going to come to the active. And I'm probably going to be hitting the Raichu, so we're going to probably have more damage on the Raichu than the Coco V anyways. They'll have less HP after the next turn, so makes sense to just kind of do it this way. I guess they could full blitz knock us out as well, though. That's something they could do. That'll be fine with me, though. Then we'd probably throw some damage over on the Coco V and probably try and find Boss to knock out Coco V on the following turn, plus some pings. There's a Marshadow to bump our Stadium, which is always not very nice, but it's fine. One thing we do have to look out, though, for is Raichu one-shotting a Dragapult VMAX, which means I maybe don't want to VMAX and knock. I might knock out this Pikarom, to be honest. There goes, all right, there goes 2 E-Power, so I don't have to worry about it anymore, really. They could still have Vitality Band, double E-Power GX attack with the Raichu, but it's pretty unlikely, so I don't think I'm going to play around that anymore happening. They'd also have to play the Vitality Band, which not every Pikarom plays, so once again, not too worried about that, I don't think. Boss's orders, if we top like an energy, getting a boss here and just bringing up this and punching this and knocking this out through the spread damage would be super sick. They're actually going with a Pokemon catcher here. I think they were going to try and full blitz knock out my Dragapult V off the bench is what they were going for there. I don't see the Pokemon catchers very often anymore either. Yeah, we're gonna overkill this Pikarom pretty heavily unless we get like Zigzagoon double net. There's a Whirlpool Suction. I'll just send up this Jirachi here. I do not care if this thing goes down. I guess they really did not want to take the horror energy damage, but now they're knocking out a one prizer, which seems worse. So I'm not sure I like this this play from my opponent at all. But I guess we'll take it. Yeah, we give up 1 prize here as opposed to 3. I guess they were afraid of this thing taking too much damage and then having to. If I had bosses on this, then I would be in a really good spot. Not gonna lie, if I had a boss energy next turn and VMAX, I'd be in a really good spot if I could bring this up and punch it and then knock this out with some spread damage from the Max Phantom. But this is almost a worse situation for our opponent than it's just as bad of a situation. Excuse me, just as bad of a situation. Oh, here comes a Tag Bolt, though. Is it? Tag Bolt, they're down. There's 1 energy short. They must have miscounted here. And yeah, there's the concede. All right, yeah, miscount on the energy. And I guess we'll take that dub over this Pikarom then. Okay, let's do this one more time. We're going first. Looking for an energy. Currently missing the energy. And even if we do with the energy, something we can do is actually just set up for the Malamar. So that way we can get energy in the scrap pile and attach next turn. So we'll see what we get here. There's the energy, though, so we're just going to get that in play. All right, quick ball away. That. Get this. I still want to aim to set up the Malamar in turn 2. And we do already have the VMAX in hand, so I'm going to go like this. Get rid of that. Get the Inkay. Bench that. Attach to the Dragapult. And then Stellar Wish. Grab ourselves the Treasure to Treasure away. Top that, get the Malamar, and then, hey, pretty good turn. Pass to my opponent. Of course, we could get Marnie or something like that. I don't think they'd want a Marnie, as we have a 3-card hand, but if it's the only draw supporter they have, you know, that can happen sometimes. Looks like a Zation deck of sorts with the Jirachi start. I'm going to guess Combo Zation. There goes a Feeny. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be saying this is probably Combo Zation right here. Yeah, almost definitely. There is a Hoopa. Hoopa's really annoying in this matchup, so we got to try and limit our abilities in play. We might not put the Malamar in play until we need it now, because we don't want to give Hoopa too much value out of the Hoopa. We're trying to limit Hoopa's value. Mr. Mime is insanely good in this matchup to kind of trap our opponent's bench, but only to kind of trap Jirachis or Mr. Mime or even the Jirachi Prism. Putting a little bit of damage on the Orangaroos isn't going to do a whole... not going to change a whole lot, so we don't have to try and put damage on those guys. That's not that big of a deal at all. There's a Scoop Up Net grab from our opponent. They probably won't be utilizing it this turn. And then the Intrepid Sword should be on the way. Think about where I want to place my max Phantom damage here. There's the Intrepid Sword. Yeah, probably not going to set up the Malamar. Probably just going to get another Dragapult V. So we do want to evolve those actually as soon as possible so our opponent can't knock them out. We want to get this guy into a VMAX as soon as possible. And research. Stamp would have been nice to have here. They have a pretty big hand, but can't have it all. All right. Quick ball away this. Get the Giratina. Charge away the Giratina. I kind of want to get the Malamar here. I'm not going to put it in play. I'm just going to put it in my hand. I just want to thin out the deck before I sell a wish. 3, 6, 8. I'm going to go ahead and stamp that. It's a big hand. Big hands lead to a lot of options. Okay, so Max Phantom does... So I'm going to go attach here. They really only have one thing set up to be able to attack with. So we can do 130. We'll knock out the Jirachi. We put 5 here, and they hit into us. They'll have 7 damage on them. And 7 will be 2 damage short. So I could ping it with Giratina. But I think I will do. I'm going to net it back into the hand so that way they don't use this guy. Just going to pressure the Zacians. Then I'm going to net it back up so that way they can't use Hoopa here, which they want to try and hit for 100 damage on us. So we need 2 abilities in play. So if we just don't put 2 abilities in play, they can't do that. And then Max Phantom, I'm going to put all 5 on this Zacian. Try and pressure that as much as possible. And there's another Dragapult V. That's nice. We did prize 2 of them, so not too big of a surprise that we actually got one there. And yeah, we'll probably throw down Malamar next turn, bench your Dragapult, research away the Giratina. I think it's worth stamping them there because it's very possible they don't draw any prize cards next turn. And it's very possible they don't draw, like, they won't actually, they can always stay at like 4 prize cards. So like if they're always going to stay at 4 prize cards, it's hard to stamp them low anyways. So I may as well try and get value out of the stamp right here, right now, when I know it's pretty good value. Next turn is when the scoop ups can come into play big time for us. We can super scoop this Dragapult VMAX after they hit it, completely negating their attack for the turn, which is huge. And giving us a ton of value. We know our Mr. Mime's in the deck. Now they've kind of loaded up their board quite a bit. And this is where we'd maybe next turn want to, when we Max Phantom, trap their board. Not let them move anything around. Limit their options. All right. So I really want a super scoop up here. Bench this. Malamar has to get involved. And I would really like the Horror Energy to be on the active as well. I'm just going to research instead of Viridian Forest first. There's a super scoop up. There's 2 super scoop ups. Let's see how they go. Hey, there's a heads. Pretty good, man. Jirachi. And that's why super scoop ups are so good in Dragapult once we get the Malamar set up. Actually, really good in this matchup specifically even. Now our opponent is... they're in big trouble, man. They are in big trouble. We're going to lock up their board here as well with the Mime in just 1 second. Going to quick ball away this last Psychic Energy. Grab the Mime. We are going to have 3 abilities in play now, but at this point, I'm kind of comfortable with that scenario. Going to grab another Super Scoop Up to utilize. Yeah, our opponent's in trouble, man. That's all I got to say. They're in big trouble now. Here comes the Max Phantom. We hit the Scoop Up heads. We got the Mr. Mime out here. We're going to go 1, 1, 1, and then the rest on the Zacian. Just putting 1 on each of them to trap them with that Scoop Up block ability of the Mr. Mime. I don't really plan on knocking any of these out, to be honest. Maybe this Mr. Mime will get knocked out. We go knockout Zacian, knockout Mime. But I have a feeling they might use the Hoopa, so it might be knockout Zacian, knockout Hoopa. Kind of have to wait and see what happens. If the Hoopa hits us, the reason I don't have to put 2 on the Hoopa is because if the Hoopa hits us, they take the Horror Energy damage, which means it sets it up to be knocked out by the Max Phantom. And this means they have they have to be very careful with what they put on their bench. They still have a bench space open, but now they can't utilize a Jirachi there or something like that. They have to keep it open for the Jirachi Prism. Maybe not this turn, but the next turn, and so on. So, yeah, it does a lot. If they hit into us with this Zacian, we get that. We get to draw the prize card through the Horror Energy. If they hit us with this other Zacian, we get to knock them out off the bench. So this Zacian, wherever it is pretty good for us. Here comes a Marnie. This does get rid of our scoop ups. I was unsure if I wanted that second scoop up in my hand, actually, to be honest. Drew into a Cynthia, though. That'll shuffle our deck. Scoop ups are on the bottom of the deck right now because of Marnie, but we can get them back on top of the deck, or back into the deck, and just in general, giving us full RNG into potentially getting it. There's the hit. 320. They do get knocked out, like I mentioned, because of the Horror Energy, but if they had just like left it on the bench and hit with Hoopa, it would have been that much worse for them because we would have cleaned it up with 10 damage ping. Now the send up is a little bit awkward. It's going to be the Mr. Mime from my opponent. Got a VMAX. Gonna thin out this stuff as much as possible here. Boom. Viridian Forest. Get rid of the Jirachi. Boom. Get a Psychic. Treasure. Get rid of the Jirachi again. Get the VMAX. Not going to attach the energy once again because I'd rather have the horror energy on it. So if I get a scoop up heads, I'd rather have the horror energy on it. But maybe it's worth it to increase our chance of seeing the scoop up. If I get this heads, no heads this time. All right. Koopa can knock us out here. I could have actually retreated this one and attacked with one on the bench. I don't know why I didn't do that, to be honest. Max Phantom, knock out the Mr. Mime. I'm going to put all this damage. Put 5 here. Put 5 there. So if they hit us with the Hoopa, then I can KO the Oranguru, and then that'll be game. Yeah, I should have actually retreated, though, to be honest. I don't know why I didn't retreat. I was like, I want to attack with the active still. But it makes it easier for my opponent to get the knockout. Otherwise, they would have had to, like, boss or something. So, yeah, no reason for me to have played that the way I just did. Do not do what I just did. That made no sense at all, to be honest. I should have definitely just gone, all right, retreat, attack. I could have even put the escape board here to keep the... it wouldn't have really made sense to use it. I could have just detached the horror energy here, psychic recharge, retreat the basic energy, keep the horror energy here, attack with a new one, be like, all right, you need a boss now. But yeah, we're down to 2 prizes. They're hitting us with a Hoopa. We can knock out Hoopa next turn with Max Phantom, and then we just need 1 damage on this Oranguru. Giratina is compatible with the Distortion Door. Looking pretty good. They pretty much have to hit us with the Zacian. I think they might be realizing that now. They're going with a boss play here on my Dragapult to try and stall him out. This might work. I don't think so. I don't think this is going to work here. I think we should be just fine. There's the Evil Admonition, 140. Attach, Viridian Forest away the Viridian Forest. Grab a Psychic. There's the concede. Not surprised. They were in a terrible spot. I made a mistake there at the end, though. Definitely should have retreated my Dragapult. They definitely should have knocked out my active Dragapult as well. That's going to do it for these games with Stephane's Malamar Dragapult. Nothing too ridiculous, right? Just really consistent, straightforward Dragapult, trying to abuse the power of the super scoop ups. When you get a heads, it's pretty good. But when you get a heads and you don't use Max Phantom the next time, it's not as good. That's why the Malamar's in there. If you guys did enjoy the video, did enjoy the game, be sure to give the video a like. If you enjoyed the content, be sure to subscribe. Have a good day. Thanks for watching, and peace.